put this ahead of all the videos. Just a full disclosure, none of this is load data. It's considered unsafe, and this is for testing purposes only. And don't do what I'm doing unless you are doing it from a safe location. None of these loads should be fired from a shotgun without some type of protection to prevent yourself from being injured. So is what I've been doing here lately with the trying to blow up the shotgun. I think I'm gonna move two directions with this. Gonna keep the videos separate. How fast can I get a shotgun shell to go will be one, and then the other will be working on the actual aspect of blowing the shotgun up. Ultimately, these are two very interesting issues, but kind of are separated. One may cause the other one to have that catastrophic failure, but so just understand that I'm going to separate the two things out. So there'll be a couple videos in regards to blowing up the shotgun, but the main focus of the one's just going to see how fast I can get a shell to go. So we're going to be continuing the test of how much is it going to take to blow up a shotgun. What I'm doing today is two things. Had some issues with the chronograph last week. I think it's probably more of a powder issue. I noticed it was with the long shot when I was using it, and if you watch the slow-mo video, there's a lot of flame coming out the barrel, so that probably interfered. But I want to make sure the chronograph's working. This is just a trap load 2 3/4. The other thing I want to do is show that the ejector extractor is still working. So we're just going to fire one round over the chronograph, confirm that it's working, and then confirm that the extractor ejector is still working also. So that read it at 1,255 feet per second. So that's working, and the ejector is still working also. Okay, so this load here is going to be, we're kind of transitioning from the steel that I was using the last time. Now we're into lead. So it's 1.25 ounces of lead. It's number 6 shot, I believe I put in there, 6 or 4 shot. Doesn't really make too much difference. With 46 grains of long shot. So 46 grains of long shot in with 1.25 ounces of lead. So we last tested 1.25 ounces of steel. So now we're at 1.25 ounces of lead, upped the powder to 46 grains of long shot. So let's see what happens here. Again, looks like the gun, everything looks good on it. Sent the rock flying backwards again. This one here is running at 1,816 feet per second. That's 1.25 ounces of lead. And we'll pop it up, open, see what happens. The ejector pulled it out just a very little bit. The primer's still fully inserted into the hull. I mean, I had to tap it a few times, but I wasn't tapping it very hard. Actually came out fairly easy. Looking at the hull, the edges are definitely rounded. The primer doesn't really look much different than any other one. Okay, so this one here, we're really bumping it up because I didn't know what else to try, so I don't know if I have a method of my madness or not, but again, now we're running with lead. So this is 1 7/8 ounces of lead. 3-inch hulls. Everything's going to be 3-inch hulls because we run out of room. The load data starting, which classified as safe, is 26 grains. So I've jumped it up to 34 grains of long shot. And again, it's 1 ounce and 7/8, number 6. So that's a lot of payload and a lot of powder. So we're going to see what happens here today. Coming in, looking at the shotgun, everything looks okay. We'll unstrap it, take a look at it. The speed on that one was 1327, 1,327 feet per second. So again, that's 1 ounce and 7/8. We're probably not looking at any crazy speeds out of this. We may be just blowing powder out the end of the gun too. Ejector didn't pull it out at all. These are all reloads, so they're fired multiple times, so it may have some effect on how much the hull is actually expanding. The primer's still fully seated. Actually came out fairly easy. If we take a look at the hull, the primer here, maybe the brass edge is pushed up just a little bit. That definitely looks a little different than all the other ones. It's got the mark here on the brass. Otherwise, no other major visible signs. The edge of the brass is rounded like it's been rounded in the past, so nothing different there. All right, so the next one we've got here is 38 grains of long shot, 1 ounce and 7/8 of lead in a 3-inch hull. Take a look at the gun. The gun looks good. Speed on that one was 1441, 1,441 feet per second. We'll pop her open, see what it looks like. Again, the extractor's not able to pull it out. The primer looks like it's nice and seated in there, just like it was when I loaded it up. Pushing it out. Took a fair amount of pressure to get it to pop out. Looking at the primer, definitely where the brass has come out, that's from me pushing it out. That's not from shooting it, because when it was inside the gun there, it was completely flush. The biggest thing I notice here is the edges around the hull. The brass here is definitely rounded. Still got some marks from the extractor right there. Otherwise, everything appears to be working good. So the last load I got today, again, 3-inch hull, 1 ounce and 7/8 of lead, number 6. We're running 42 grains of long shot. This one here is maxed out. I can't get any more powder with that amount of shot in it. So there's no way I could load this with any more than what I got in it right now. 42 grains, it's maxed out. When I actually crimped it, the crimp is all messed up, and where the plastic meets the brass actually crimped it, not crimped it, but it kind of bulged it a little bit. So not a load that I can fit anymore into this one. So again, if I change powder amount, if I want to go up with powder, I'm going to have to lose shot payload weight. So again, this is as much as I can get in it in these combinations. So the only things you can change is more powder, less shot. So we'll see what happens, but this is the most I can get into it. All right, taking a look at the gun. It looks good from here. We'll open it up, see what the shell looks like. Speed on that one was 1,478. 1,478. And we might have an issue here, guys. Right now, I'm not able to push this down to open the breech. We're taking use this ratchet wrench to see if we can bang on it to get it to break loose. There we go. We got it to open up. Again, that was bound up where I wasn't able to push it. Try and bring this in for a close-up. That's what it looks like in the gun. Get the cleaning rod out, push out the hull, see what it looks like. See how hard it pushes out. That definitely is getting to the point where we got some issues here. Hopefully that's on camera so you can see what's going on. So here is your hull. I've never seen a hull like that. We have to inspect the gun and see where the rest of the hull may be. The brass is completely gone. That's pretty interesting. And there's the end of the hull. And if we look down the barrel here, the rest of the hull, the brass, is inside the gun here. So it sheared it off and is stuck inside there. When I get home, I'll see if I can get it out. But definitely expanded enough to the point where it's separated from the hull. The gun appears to be operational. Obviously, the extractor ejector is not going to work right now because it's stuck inside the gun. So this is a close-up view of the inside the barrel and the chamber with the hull, the brass part of the hull still stuck inside of it. We're going to see if we can get it to come out. Alright, so it's taken a little bit of work to get the extractor pushed out and then starting to bend up the casing or the brass portion of the hull here. I tried pushing it out from the other way and it won't come out, and I was hoping I could not damage it to get it out, but it seemed like it was in there pretty good. Maybe now I can push it out from the other end. And once I got it caved in a little bit, it actually pulled up pretty easy. So I just want to show this. Put the barrel back on, close the chamber, open it up, and everything appears to be working well. So we'll continue our test. At this point, I don't see any reason why we couldn't. Again, clear chamber, cock the hammer, pull the trigger. Everything seems to be working. Doesn't have any looseness in the pin here, and everything seems functional. So this is an empty hull. And everything seems to be working very well. So the only thing that we've broken so far is the trigger guard right here. I'm going to put some glue on it and it'll be good to go.